The recording has started. So this is a free SAP ABAP session where we will cover the basics of SAP ABAP and what all is there in SAP. Also, we'll cover what other technologies are covered with SAP ABAP. So this SAP ABAP session will be taken by Devansh Pandey. He is a SAP expert and having 7 years of experience in both front-end and back-end technologies. So over to you, Devansh.
Thank you, Rudra. Hi, Nina. So, hi, this is Devansh, and I have around 7 years of experience in SAP ABAP and Fury development. And I have experience of SAP SD modules. I have worked in implementation projects as well as in the support projects. So, in this session, basically, it's not a hands-on experience. Rather, we are going to give you the overview of SAP, what is SAP, uh, and what is SAP ABAP, what are the basics of SAP ABAP, and what are the different parts which we are going to cover under this course. So basically it's a kind of interactive session where you can, if you have some doubt, you can ask us regarding this course, and you can understand like what basically we are going to provide you if you try to being accept go with this course further. Okay. So this is basically the agenda for today's course, and let's proceed further. Rudra, can you go to the next slide? So yeah, what is SAP? So basically, SAP is an organization which build its product, which is an ERP. ERP is enterprise solution, enterprise resource management solution, where which is being used in industries and factories. So for their management, so it contains different modules, and it is being used in different modules like for sales and distribution, material management, production planning, and and warehouse management. There are CRM, and there are uh, other facilities also, which are like their cloud solutions, where they provide multiple different applications which can be used for the different part of your which can be helpful for the support of the different part of your business. So if you try to understand what is an ERP, if we take it as an example, consider we all have been to the supermart. Similarly, if you ever go into the supermart, you buy some product and then you go to the cash counter to bill it. So when you reach there to the cash counter for the billing, you have to go to the cashier and you have to provide your product, and then they scan those things. And once you scan that, once that cashier scans that, that amount of that product appears on the screen, and it got total, all the total whatever product you have bought, and then it got total the
Devansh,
bill,
your
and you pay the
voice
bill.
is
So
lost.
this uh, is it still lost? Hello.
It was lost in between. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you can
So
continue.
now is it better? Yeah, okay. So when we buy those things, so basically all of this, this complete solution is a kind of a small ERP, enterprise solution. So for that supermarket, that product is an ERP. They are taking care of the complete billing and also the resource management. Complete billing and the resource management was part of that billing, and whatever the product was there, their complete cost and everything which is being coming up from database, and that is being taken care by that solution. So that is a small kind of ERP. So SAP built its own ERP for the smaller uh, customers also, or smaller business also, as well as for the very bigger business. Like few examples of the SAP ERP, like companies which are using SAP ERP is John Deere. It's a big tractor manufacturing company. Coca-Cola is one of the big company which use ERP, and also Mercedes is one of the giant which automobile manufacturing company industry which use SAP uh, w- uh, for their basically for their production manufacturing. And even Caterpillar is one of the company which use, and a Caterpillar use all of the modules like SD, PP, MM. And so like me and me, we have in our team have worked on some other clients who are not such a big clients, but they also use SAP on smaller basis or one part of module for their there is a company called Sundar Dairy in India, which is a dairy company, and they use SAP SD and SAP, basically SD and PP uh, for their complete management. So that's how they use different modules. Uh, Modules are basically company don't need every modules, they use a part of that module like SD, they take SD and then use it. uh, and for sales and distribution and billing, similarly they use material management. If they have lots of material and they have a warehouse, then they use warehouse management to the management of that complete products, and they and to get the best out of their best out for their company. So that's how SAP being used. So in short, SAP is a company which builds an ERP solution, and it has a uh, very large number of customer group. And also their product is very much famous now, as we are all looking working on it for a very longer time, like around 20-30 years now. And SAP is still growing and growing, and they are now into clouds now as clouds, and their customer base is going to increase further as they are going into clouds, and they are opening it market. Till now SAP ERP doesn't have the open cloud open source, like their systems were closed. You need SAP ABAP to develop the application, or you have to basically you need their service on your their basically their servers on your premise to work. But now they are going to cloud, so you have the complete open cloud, uh, um, cloud available from SAP, which you can directly use and develop your take a very small part of that ERP and implement in your business and take and use it further. So by that their customer base is going to increase, and there is going to be lots of opportunity in, if you want to be the part of SAP. So that's what currently SAP is. So this is under what is SAP. Now let's go to the next slide. So all Fortune 100 companies use SAP ERP. Yes, all Fortune 100 companies, it's Fortune 100 companies, all of them are using ERP. That's a very big statement, you can say. Like all the companies are using ERP, and they have both uh, front end back end. Basically they have multiple technologies. So they have their own back end where you can build your their ERP solutions uh, by yourself if you have your support team. So these all 100 Fortune companies need an SAP team to manage their backend. And to so consider I am a company and I have some rule change. Some consider I have FI modules which take care of the finance of my company. Now now um, GST comes up in India. So when GST comes up, the rules for the tax calculation has been changed. And once this rule of tax calculation has been changed, now what is needed, we have to our our SAP finance system, how SAP FI was working earlier, has been changed. Now financial amount calculation will be happens differently. They need to take care of this GST based on their different product, and based on that their tax calculation will happen, and all the calculation, financial calculation will happen based on that. And consider we have a very big custom development which we have done with the ABAP, and now those all changes need to be changed. Hence now this backend developer and the front end developers comes into the picture, like ABAPers and basically the Fury developers. Fury is the front end part of SAP where they build Fury applications, or the you can say the applications which can be used in cloud or in our basically our these browsers. So these those applications are called the SAP Fury applications. So these developer come into picture because to implement those development, these developer has to add some additional code into the existing solution and also to the Fury solution. So that's why for the because such a big companies are using ERPs, SAP ERP, our ABAPers role or the Fury developer roles, uh, and the opportunity keeps on coming as our environments, our like global market is changing, and new taxes are coming, new technologies are coming, and because such 100 fortune companies are using ERP, they need to keep on using that because they can't change now SAP, because if they try to change it, it will be very big uh, cost burden on them, which is not possible to change. Hence they will try to incorporate to this new additional changes, and hence there are going to be a very vast number of new developments into this for these companies because of this technology change coming in SAP. Hence and there are lots of opportunity in SAP right now, where if you try to learn this SAP technology, even its module also, if you try to learn, there are going to be good opportunity in SAP in coming future. So now if we go to the next slide, so these are basically the few examples. I have already given you few like John Deere and Colgate and some other, but here you can see the Coca-Cola, Airbus, Burger King, McDonald's, Lenovo, Bajaj Allianz, Caterpillar is one of them. It's not there, but Hindustan Unilever, Johnson and Johnson, Land Rover, Pune. So all the companies, all of the big companies which you already know are part of are one of the part of the companies which are using SAP ERP as their solution. So this is the SAP. Now what is, so this is basically Nana, this is this training is on the backend side of SAP, like backend software coding side, where you can learn like what is their language to build or to do any technical changes into the SAP ERP. And for that SAP has created its own language, programming language, that is called ABAP, and its full form is Advanced Business Application Programming. So this language is being used to do any development in SAP. Now so SAP is basically the its backend language, and it is fourth level generation language, so it's easy to learn. You can very easily learn it. If you have some basic understanding of coding, you can start learning this language. and and it's a very powerful language to build ERP. Even it has all the concepts. You can, if you have some basic knowledge of other object oriented concepts from some other language, you can use it here, or if you don't have, you can learn it from here and can be used in other language. So it's like that. If you know ABAP, you can also start learn. It would be very easier to learn other languages like C++, because they are very much similar, and that's what the ABAP is. So basically in ABAP there are transaction codes. So basically if you want to uh, do any work in ABAP, you need transaction codes. So that transaction code are being used to uh, perform different operations. So in ABAP, and that comes that once you start learning ABAP, you will get the knowledge of those transaction codes. So that's how, that is basically the ABAP is. So ABAP is the our programming language which we are going to learn in this session further, and this is being used uh, for any kinds of development in SAP. So this is basically the ABAP is. Rudraj, if you can move to the next slide. Okay. So yes, Nana, you can ask questions.
Yes, Devansh. Actually, I
Uh,
want to know if I have a basic knowledge of Python. I'm not
hmm,
saying it is like I'm a master in that, but I have
hmm.
a basic knowledge of Python. Is it helpful for me to learn ABAP?
Yes, it's very helpful. Actually, now if I tell you like now SAP, even if you uh, don't interested in too much backend language like ABAP, you can start learning SAP cloud languages. So they are coming it with SAP cloud now, and they have BTP, which is called Business Technology Platform. That is a platform they have developed where you can directly use this new technology. Like if you have some basic knowledge of Python already, and then you can learn cloud application programming and you can start building SAP cloud applications. And there you can use node.js and Python and these languages already. So and that is like newer, that the newest part of the SAP. There are not very much uh, basically developer still available who can work on SAP BTP side or SAP cloud application sides, and there are requirements keep on coming every day for SAP BTP. So if you have basic knowledge of
Okay.
Python, and you want to keep on learning that, or you want to utilize that, you can opt for SAP cloud also, and learning for the Fury
Okay.
side of that. But if you have basic knowledge of even Python, that knowledge will be useful in ABAP also, because the coding and the if you have knowledge to build algorithm, the algorithm never going to be changed. It going to be same for even for the backend, or even you do in coding in Python, only the terminology change, the algorithm remains same. So that would be useful. Yeah.
Okay, Devansh. Okay, it's helpful. Okay.
So this is basically, now we are going to just give you the glimpse like what are the different sections under ABAP which we will take care. So firstly we will starts with when this session we will first take care of your database part of that, like SAP, how you can build SAP database management of SAP. So SAP database management happens through a transaction called SE11, and this is the screen of that transaction. Here in this transaction, what basically we will going to learn how you can build an SAP database table, and how you can build a SAP view, how, and so consider if you build a table, how you will declare and global data type and domains. So domain basically are like it is a characteristic. So even if you have some knowledge of Python, so you understand like you have to build first some variables. So those variable have some type, so those global type can be defined here directly, and those global type will be used in database table, because SAP is a ERP, so it needs to store all of those data, and those data get stored in database table. So SE11, or basically the it's ABAP dictionary, which we called ABAP dictionary, is basically the place where we we take care of database management. We go there, we build the application, and we store our data into these database table, which we build under ABAP dictionary part of that. Here we will also build the SAP views. So views are kind of consider views are like it's kind of a window, so it doesn't store the data, but it's kind of a structure. And 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 basically you can use this view directly to access the database table. So you can merge two different table, put some inner join, and create one view, and then you can directly use that view to get the data. So that's what the use of view, to get the view of the data which is stored in the database table. So that's what the use of the view is. I'm going to explain one by one all these 6 points which is appear, which you can see in the screen, like data, what is database table, what is view. And in that, so once in the sessions we will going to see explain everything, how you can build a database table, how can build the view, how you can build a data type. Data type is basically the type of the if you create a variable, or if you're going to store the data in the table, what going to be the type of that, if it is going to be a character field, or it going to be a numeric field, or it is a raw data. So what kind of data you are going to store or build, that is the part of data type. Okay, now the type group is, we build a group where you can, there are multiple types can be merged together, so that's called the type group. Now the domain is basically where we define, consider what is what is like so in the data type also we provide what is the description of the wheel, like in the data type we only not only provide the type of the characteristics or integer, we also give it the what is the further characteristics of the that field, like how, what would be the going to be the label of that field, and is there going to be any other details, like if it is a short text, what going to be the length of that, long text and medium text. So these kind of details will be stored in data type. Rather in domain, only the it's correct. Is it going to be character, integer, or raw detail? That will be the part of domain. Now the search help. Search help is like whenever, if you have used this PV module or MM module, you have some idea. So there you have seen like multiple time you click on the value help button and see some value, try to search some value. So those all part of the search help. So we that is how you can build a search help, that we are going to teach, like how you can build a search help and how you can use it in the program for your useful. Lock object is, consider you have built one database table, and now that database table you have to you do if who can access it and who can't access it. That requires a lock object. Consider if I am changing some object and somebody else want to access that, then it can cause a problem to the other one if they try to access that data, or for me, like if I'm changing it and at the same time somebody is accessing that, that can cause a conflict. Hence, to avoid that conflict, we use lock object. So we define one lock object, and then if we are changing some database record, then that lock object lock that object for time being. It is being changed. Once it is changed, it get open so that you can now access that data and see it. So in transit, basically, to avoid any conflict, we lock that object for a time being. That is called lock object. So basically that is a use of lock object. So this is basically, these are all the part of the ABAP dictionary, and extensively every ABAP dictionary is kind of a like most important part of SAP, because it's the base of SAP. If you can go back to the last slide, ABAP dictionary. So ABAP dictionary is basically, this is the ABAP dictionary is the main core or the basis of everything. So from here everything gets started. You firstly need all of this thing, like you need the table, you need the data element, you need domain, lock objects, and search help. And and this, if and this all take around, so the one topic takes almost like one session. It's such a big topics, and because you need to understand everything, and there are going to be multiple different types of views also. Like there can be maintenance view, then there can be database view, and there are other views also. Similarly, in the database table there are different type of tables. So based on different scenarios, these things keep on changing, and that is the base of our SAP ABAP. So ABAP dictionary. And and you so this almost this take a very long time, because if you get the better understanding of this one, it will become very easy to further learn ABAP. So that is what the core
Okay.
or the first step of the ABAP, this ABAP dictionary. uh,
Okay.
Now, Rudra, you can go to the next slide.
I think question
Yes,
is there,
please.
right?
Yeah,
Anna, do you have
yes.
any question?
No, 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 no questions. Actually, clear to me the web dictionary, the part of that, and also it takes time.
Okay,
So,
okay.
okay, in one session we can't clear it. Yes. Okay.
So now now this is for the report transaction. Report transaction is basically, this is a transaction where we basically build our programs. So SC38 is the transaction which we use to build reports. We provide here the report name, and from here, once you click on create, then we go into the report creation part. So in the report creation, there are lots of other further subtopics which we basically learn. That is like, what are the different kinds of report? Like there will be module pool reporting, then there will be uh, uh, normal classical report, then also ALV report. We build these three kinds of reports inside, and this is the where basically we start learning code. We start building report. So our hello so, usually in other languages there is one if you go to the Python, you app that you download that app, your own VS code maybe, and then write your code there. But in here we use this SE38, and here we basically write our program, and this program runs. So our complete, if you see all of this mm01, mm02, all of this are built with this transaction only, SE38. We build a program and then give it a name. So this is the place basically. C38 is the place from where everything gets started. We build a module pool and all the programs from here. and and we will going to teach the what are the different kinds of events which are part of the ABAP report, how you can build a classical ALV program, how you can build make a object-oriented program, how you can create an interactive report, how you can build a module pool programming, what are the different kinds of module concepts of the basically code, basically what should be the code guideline or how you should use a code for the better performance uh, while developing application. Those all will be the part of this report transaction session, where we'll going to teach you how to build this report. So this is going to be that part. So now, Rudra, can you go to the next session? Yes. Yeah. So SAP also has the object oriented session also, object oriented part also, where what we do, uh, you can build an class directly in SAP. The same concepts which are you might have learned in object oriented, like encapsulation, polymorphism, or inheritance, they all are applicable here also, and we can directly build some class and use it for modularization techniques. So modulation techniques are basically, so whenever we build our code in SE30, the 38, the older transaction, which the older sites which where we're talking about, so there we need to modularize our code. Like if they're considered there are thousands lines of code, then they need to be modularized. Like it should be in a smaller session and it can be easy to understand. So for that purpose also we can use the class. So class is basically, you can consider it as like you create a standard structure of some kind of functionality. Consider sales order creation. So whatever the different kinds of different steps involved in sales order creation can be the methods of the class, and you can create a SE24 transaction. With the help of SE4 transaction, you can create a class called Z, because we all the objects in custom objects start with Z in SAP. So ZCL, sales order creation, and that complete class contain different method, from create sales order, validate sales order, update sales order, create billing, and these different methods you can create and write your logic, and then you can directly use those methods in your program. And we are going to teach in this session like what are the different, how you can build different kinds of class, like in what are the different kinds of object oriented concepts. We are going to teach all of that over and above from SE24 like classes. We are going to teach those also, and then then we will also teach how to create methods and how you can call the class, what are the instance static and different types of methods can be built. This all will be the part of this session, where we will teach the object oriented class creation in SAP. So that would be the part of this session, object oriented transaction. Now the next part. Finally, this is the OData section. So we this OData section are consider whenever whenever we build something in SAP and we have to show that into a Fury application. Fury application means the application which we show in the browser. We need an OData service. We build a OData service. OData means Open Data Protocol. So we need to build that service, and this is kind of a REST API we build in SAP, and that comes under OData transaction. So we are going to so this SCGW transaction, SAP Gateway Service Builder, is being used to build the OData. And and in this session we basically going to teach like how you can build an OData, how you can build different kinds of entities in OData, how you can build association, how you can do navigation between different entities are, you can understand like, let's take example of sales order again. And there is one entity to show the sales order details. So consider you open one application into the browser which show only order header details. Header details means sales order main details. So if those details comes up in the screen, so whatever data coming in the screen are basically coming with the help of OData. So you build one OData. So this OData work as a linkage. So all the data is available in SAP, in your SAP database. So you build one OData where you have write your logic to fetch those data from that OData base and to show it to the Fury screen. So that linkage is called OData, and this data transfer basically from this uh, database to the Fury screen happens through API, and API is a RESTful API which we build through this transaction. And consider you are only showing header data, so for that you need to build one entity in your OData, that is called entity, that is called sales order header. So similarly, to show item details, we create different entity. Then there going to be some relation between. For that we need to create some association, and to move from header data to item data, then there should be need of some navigation. So that will also going to that be the part of the session. Here we also going to teach you like what are the CRUD operations, how you can do those CRUD operation, create, read, update and delete. So and how you can basically register one service, how you can see your test service in SAP, how the OData you build, how you can check your complete CRUD operation for an RESTful API. We are going to teach all of that part under this OData section, and we are going and how you can build one this OData. There are different data source possible, like there can be and some database, there can be CDS, the source of it, and those all section, the extensive session which we will all going to teach under this OData section. So this will be the part of this complete course also. So now next part, Rudra. CDS view. So we are also going to like, this is not the part of core HANA, but yes, this is like ABAP on HANA. But they here in our session we are going to teach this how to build CDS view also. So because CDS view is now being used in OData as a data source, hence we are covering this ABAP CDS also. So CDS is, you can say, core data view, core data service kind of, and this is being used for to get the data from the different database and to build the relationship between them through association. Also with the help of annotation we can add some additional layer of uh, information over those data that can be useful. Basically this CDS view is being used for the Fury applications. So this is all part of the newer ABAP section where which is being used for the SAP clouds, or being used for the SAP Fury application, or to application which is being shown in the browser. So hence we this ABAP CDS is basically part of that. So it's kind of a core of that. So database modeling is being done with the help of ABAP CDS for to make the data more annotation rich. So the view which we built through the that database modular, which we have shown earlier, so that can't be, basically that can't used that can be helpful to build a view with the annotations, but this ABAP CDS can be used for that purpose. So consider if you trying to build some KPI based application, or application where which can be used for the analytical purpose, we need the CDS view. Hence we are covering the CDS view also, where we are going to teach like how you can build some CDS view in our system. Uh, Other than that, in CDS view, there are different kind of view, which are basic view. Uh, uh, then there are consumption view. Then there are one interface view, which is basically to interact between that, or maybe my name can be different. But yeah, there are three kinds of CDS view. So we are going to capture all three of them. Or other than that, we are also going to teach how you can uh, build AMDP classes, which are part of the web CDS. So that is also will be covered inside the session. So these are all the part of a web CDS we are going to cover in the web CDS. Yeah, so basically this is all the topics which are going to be covered inside this session, and in and all the sessions will have different timelines, and we are going to allocate different number of days for every sessions. We are and we will teach everything in depth. So that is what basically session is all about. So that's what this free session is about. We are about to give the complete uh, details of this session in depth. If you have any question in, then you can ask us.
Okay, that was the topics there. That is like these topics are you cover in your
Right.
classes.
Classes.
Yes. Okay.
And other than that, if you are looking for something other than this, which should be part of SAP, which is part of SAP, we can also build our courses specific to that, because we have people who are working on other things also technically, and
Okay.
we will try to help you with those things also if you want to learn.
Okay. Okay. And the classes days are fixed or something like, because I'm working. So I'm working, and
Okay.
also like the timing is, I don't know the timing will be suitable for me or not. So can
uh,
you share
Rudra
me the
can.
schedule also?
Yes, yes, yes. So
So
Nana, actually, we'll have a 3 weeks hands-on training. So it will
okay.
cover everything that we have discussed in this session. Also, we'll provide a
Okay.
complete certificate, and the
Okay.
timing we can discuss in detail, like whatever timing suits you, we can plan something around it. So the
Okay.
only
Okay.
thing is
Okay.
that it will take some time, because ABAP is very vast, and it will take at least 3 weeks with hands-on training.
Okay.
So we'll start with the installation setup days first, where we'll install the software in your system, and once you will
Okay.
get that system, then we'll start with training. And every day you will get some assignment, and we will require you to complete that assignment, so that once your assignment is completed, then only we'll move towards the next parts. And then
Okay.
once we have covered all the basic of SAP ABAP, then we'll discuss the object oriented concepts, and we'll implement that also in the coding section. And then in the last, we will discuss the basics of ABAP CDS and OData, because ABAP CDS and OData in itself is a big course. So we cannot
Yes.
cover everything in one single course itself. So
Okay.
that's the entire plan, and we'll provide after the complete certificate. So that's the overall training program.